Right now, the states of America are sitting on about $70 billion that doesn't belong to them. It belongs to you. Or it might. Roughly 1 in 7 Americans has money waiting in their name, an old bank account, a forgotten insurance payout, a paycheck that never got cashed. And here's the myth I need to bust before we go any further. This is not some secret government check tied to your birth year, and it's not. One form equals guaranteed cash. It's a free search. Some people find nothing. Some people find $400 they forgot about. Some people find $30,000. You don't know until you look, and looking takes about 5 minutes. So let's find out if your name is on that list, and then let's make sure nobody talks you into paying to get your own money back. Here's the core of it, right up front, no waiting. Every state has an unclaimed property office. When a bank, insurance company, or employer loses contact with you, maybe you moved, maybe an account sat untouched for a few years, that money doesn't vanish. By law, it gets handed over to the state for safekeeping, where it waits, with no time limit, until you or your heirs come looking for it. The place to look, for free, is a site called missingmoney.com. It's sponsored by the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators, the actual nonprofit that state treasurers use to coordinate this whole system. You type in your name and your state, or any state you've ever lived in, and it searches participating state databases in seconds. If there's a match, it shows you which state is holding it and links you straight to that state's official government site to start the claim. There's a second site worth running too, Unclaimed.org, which is NALPA's own home base and connects you to every single state's official program, even the ones that don't feed into missing money. Running both takes maybe 5 extra minutes and can turn up different results, because states don't all report to the same place. Now, the number that gets people's attention. States returned over $4.4 billion to their rightful owners in the last fiscal year alone. That's not projected money. That's money that already moved from a state treasury back into someone's pocket. The average person with unclaimed property is owed a bit over $2,000, some far less, some far more. But how do you actually claim it once you find a match? That part comes in a minute. First, I want you to hear from someone who almost walked away from money that was already hers. Let's call her Margaret. 68 years old, retired schoolteacher, lived in Ohio for 30 years before moving to Florida to be near her daughter. A friend at church mentioned this unclaimed money search almost as a joke. Probably nothing, but it's free, why not? Margaret almost didn't bother. She figured if she was owed something, somebody would have mailed her a letter. That's actually one of the biggest reasons people miss this money. States do try to mail notices, but if you've moved even once in the last few decades, that letter went to an address you haven't lived at in years. Margaret typed her name into missingmoney.com expecting nothing. 2 matches came up. One was a small refund from a utility company in Ohio, about $60. The other was bigger, an old life insurance policy from her late husband's employer that had gone dormant when the family moved and nobody updated the beneficiary paperwork. It had sat with the state of Ohio for years. After she found the match, she followed the link to Ohio's official Unclaimed Funds Division, filled out a claim form, provided a copy of her ID and her husband's death certificate, and a few weeks later, a check for a little over $3,000 arrived in the mail. No fee. No middleman. Just money that was always hers, sitting in a government filing system waiting for someone to ask for it. Margaret's story isn't the jackpot version you see in those flashy headlines. It's the honest, ordinary version, and honestly, that's most of the stories. A little money here, sometimes a lot there, always worth the 5 minutes it takes to check. If this kind of thing is useful to you, real information, no fear-mongering, tap subscribe. I put out videos like this to help people over 60 protect and find their money, without the scare tactics some other channels use. Let's go through exactly how to search, plus a few places most people never think to check. But first, the next one is where people either save themselves a headache or lose money to a scammer, so stay with me. 1. Run the 2 free searches, missingmoney.com and unclaimed.org. Search your current name, your maiden name if that applies, and every state you've lived, worked, or done business in. Takes about 5 minutes total. 2. Watch for copycat sites and finder fees, because this involves the words free money. It attracts imitators, websites with names almost identical to the real ones, and companies that mail official-looking letters offering to locate your funds for a cut. Some of these outfits charge 10, 20, even 50% of whatever they recover. You never need to pay anyone to search for your own money or file your own claim. The real search, through your state, is always free. 3. Check for old pension money. If you worked for a private company years ago and the pension plan later ended or the company went under, the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, a federal agency, not a private company, runs a free missing participants search for exactly this situation. 4. Check for a matured savings bond. The U.S. Treasury estimates around $32 billion in savings bonds have reached final maturity, meaning they stopped earning interest years ago and are just sitting there. If you or a parent ever bought paper savings bonds, it's worth a free check through Treasury Direct. 5. Don't forget the IRS. Every year, refunds go undelivered or unclaimed because a return was never filed or a check bounced back as undeliverable. The catch: you generally have 3 years from the original filing deadline to claim it. After that, it becomes property of the U.S. Treasury permanently. So this one has a real clock on it. 6. If you're searching for a late spouse or parent, both missingmoney.com and your state's site let you search a deceased person's name. You'll typically need a death certificate and proof you're the legal heir or executor to complete the claim, but the search itself, again, is free. So here's what to walk away with. 1. Roughly 1 in 7 Americans has unclaimed money sitting with the state government right now, and it never expires. 2. The only 2 sites you need are missingmoney.com and unclaimed.org, both completely free, both official. 3. Never pay someone a percentage to do a search you can do yourself in 5 minutes. And 4. While you're at it, check the PBGC for old pensions and the IRS for old refunds, since those have their own separate systems. The single most valuable thing you can do after watching this video is simple. Open a new tab right now, go to missingmoney.com, and type in your name. It costs you nothing but 5 minutes, and for about 1 in 7 of you, it's going to be 5 minutes very well spent. If you found this useful, subscribe, and please share it with someone over 65, a parent, a neighbor, a friend from church. A lot of people in that age group have moved once or twice over the decades, which is exactly the group most likely to have money sitting unclaimed. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.